Hello, and hopefully it connects. Yes, we're live streaming. Okay. Welcome everyone to the Get Fit With Me, expanding your physical and mental fitness group. This group is for individuals who are looking to expand both their physical and mental fitness while helping and supporting others with similar goals all along the way. And we have two new faces on the Zoom screen today, and I'm super excited to have both of you here. So before we get into introductions and we run through today's training, I want to remind you guys that in this group, we talk about physical fitness and mental fitness and nutrition. And sometimes we get to pair some of the categories together. Sometimes we stick just in one area or the other. Today, we are going to be talking about reshaping our mind and our body. So this is your moment to go and grab your little mini bands. If they're somewhere else in your house, go grab them because we will be using them later because we are going to combo our mental fitness with our physical fitness. So go run and grab those so you have them. And if you don't have mini bands, you can grab any of your longer resistance bands and you're going to be able to, so grab that equipment so you have it, and you just need kind of a small space here, no bigger than your arm's width away. So we have two people on Zoom with us today. For those of you who are on Facebook, either drop live or replay and follow along with the questions that I ask and the comments, anything that comes up throughout the training. This chat lives on, this video lives on. Just because we're going live now does not mean I'm not going to go back and look at comments. Don't worry, you comment, I still see them all pop up. So if you are live, let me know you are live on Facebook. And if you're watching the replay, let us know who you are, where you're from, and introduce yourself. So when we are live on Zoom, we get to do introductions. And I'm going to assume as long as you are unmuted or your camera is on, that you are willing and able to talk. So if you are muted and you have no screen, I will assume you're just kind of here to listen. So I want to know from both of you, Angela, we'll start with you, who you are, where are you at today, and do you have a health goal? If yes, what is it? And if no, why don't you have one?
So I am Angela. I'm in Michigan. I'm currently in my office, which also has my treadmill and everything in it. My health goal is to lose at least 23 more pounds and hopefully not have to take any cholesterol medicine or anything like that and have my energy back.
I love it. And
do you want my camera on?
That is totally up to you if you want your camera on or not.
Okay.
I love when we get into the exercise portion, if you're able to turn your camera on, it'll just be more beneficial so I can help tweak any movements. If something doesn't feel right, I can give better adjustments when I can see you. But that's all based on your comfortability.
Okay.
Perfect. And Brescia, am I saying that correctly?
It's Brescia.
Brescia.
Excuse me.
Who are you? Where are you at today? And do you have a health goal?
Hi, I'm Brescia. I am in Buffalo, Missouri today, and I would really like to get back to like a healthy weight. I just got where I'm no longer considered obese, and it felt really good.
Congrats. That's got to feel awesome.
It does.
And how, is there a specific number or a specific way you want to feel when you hit that next milestone for you, or are we still trying to figure out what that looks like down the road?
I'm still trying to figure it out. In the past, I had a certain number that I felt really good at, but I've been lifting a lot of weights, and I honestly feel like the number on the scale is going to be a little bit higher than I am used to since I've been weight training, but I don't know.
That's awesome. And I love to hear that you're weight training, because weight training is super important, especially for males and females, but especially for females, because we struggle with osteoporosis usually when we get older. So the more strength training we can start with now, the better we will feel later in life. I'm super excited to have both of you guys here. I'm going to tell a little story / let you know why I'm teaching this today and how I came up with it. And then we will get into some conversation, and then we'll get into movement. So the reason we're talking about mini steps and mini bands and reshaping our mind and our body is I used to be a 0 to 100 approach type of person, or at least I used to think I could do it. That I was gonna wake up one morning, be super motivated and be like, I'm gonna drink all the water, I'm gonna eat all the right foods, I'm gonna exercise all the days, I'm gonna get good sleep. I just started feeling like I could check off all these boxes all at once. Well, what I learned is I couldn't, is that after 24, 48, 72 hours, maybe even a week, slowly I would stop doing the water. Slowly I'd stop moving how I was anticipating. Slowly my sleep would go. Like I would slowly start to drop off bits and pieces. But then I'd do it again the next time I felt really motivated. And it became this cycle of 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, got me nowhere at all. So I went back to an activity that I have done in this group. It is back on the, what is the name of the training that we did? It was Getting Back on Track. So the Getting Back on Track training that we did a few months ago, we talked about looking at the things that work in your life and looking at the things that don't work and actually noting it down so that when you're ready to make a change, you can see the things that don't work and you won't do them again. You won't repeat that constant cycle that we always do because they were like, oh, it's going to work this time. It's going to work this time, I promise. And all of a sudden we end up in that constant cycle. So when I looked back at my sheet, I realized that the thing that really worked for me in the past and still works for me to this day is taking really small steps, really, really small mini steps in different areas of my life, maybe all at once, or maybe just one area at a time. Depends on where I'm at in my journey and what my goal is. So how many of you are a 0 to 100 approach person? You can also raise your virtual hand. And if you're a 0 to 100 approach person, does it work for you, Angela?
It does and it doesn't. But I always seem to run into something like life-changing that slows me down. But if I don't make a quick change, then I don't make the change.
Interesting.
So even though it's 0 to 100 and I might hit the road bump, I still have been able to change the way I eat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
But I still need the longevity of all of it combined.
So when you do the 0 to 100, you make a change, you get going, roadblock or life gets in the way because it always does and it's always going to.
Yeah, it's been like major things for me, like emergency surgeries and things like that. It's been big things. But for instance, in 2011, I totally cut sugar out of my coffee and I've never went back to it. Okay. I'm a cold turkey kind of person. I can't, if I go back to it though, I will go back to it and just run with it. I have to totally cut it.
And some people are like that. So my question is, when you had one of those emergency surgeries, did you wait for that next bout of motivation or that next bout of, I want to go 0 to 100? Or did you start implementing something small as soon as you were able to? Like, I'm going to go for a while. Okay. So to get you to that 0 to 100 motivation, you were doing those mini steps to get you up to there.
Yep.
Perfect. And what types of mini steps kind of pop into your mind of things that you've done recovering from any of your procedures or things like that you've done really small and like, oh, I felt good about that.
Throw it away.
Throw it away.
Throw the food away.
Perfect. And I'm gonna say it's Brescia, right? I'm gonna get it, I promise.
Sorry, it's Brisha. I'm still trying to figure out how to work the whole Zoom thing. So that's why I'm a little delayed.
Oh, no, you are good. Okay, so are you a 0 to 100 approach type of person?
I actually am a some is better than none type of person.
Okay, so more of that, the little bit of mini steps then.
Yeah.
What
It
types
seems,
of, no,
it
go
seems
ahead.
to work a lot better for me.
What type of mini steps kind of come to mind that you've taken? Because I know you've started strength training. We've been talking in Messenger a little bit. Like, what types of things have you done to kind of get you to where you are now?
Just the getting up and going to the gym 3 times a week and like committing to it. Those are like really small steps. I tell myself sometimes I'm gonna get up in the morning and go on like a 20-minute walk and do, sometimes I tell myself I'm gonna do the 100% thing, and I still am not there. I'm not there yet. But just the starting going to the gym, just taking those steps, that's really helped. And just like kind of starting a meal plan. I am still not really good at that, but I've started. I do some.
And that's what counts, is it's those little thing of I started. So maybe it was starting by creating a grocery list and you've never done that before. Maybe it was finding those bands that are hidden in a trunk in your basement somewhere and getting them out so you can see them. Little steps look different to all of us. And the ones that I usually try to help people promote right away is because they're so small, is drink 2 more ounces of water today than you did yesterday, if your goal is water. Maybe it's take 100 more steps. If you're someone who has a Fitbit or anything that tracks your steps, take 100 more steps today than you did yesterday. Eat 1 more vegetable this week, or try 1 new vegetable this week. The other one is going to wrap into what we are going to do next here. And I'm going to teach you 5 mini band exercises. And maybe that mini step that you take is picking one of those exercises and doing one of those every day. And that's it. Because movement, water, sleep, food, mental fitness, all of these, if we want something to be sustainable for long term, when it's harder for us to not just cut off cold turkey, we have to do these little steps of that build up, the 1 step at a time as we climb that mountain, that 1 extra sip of water. And yes, it's that slower process, but it's also that process that's going to allow sustainability. So you're not going to get to that end goal and be like, well, now what do I do? Like, you have created these habits and routines through mini steps that you're not going to allow them to consume you. These mini steps they don't consume your mind. They're just natural. Oh, I'm going to just have 2 more ounces of water today. I'm going to go take a lap around the house. 100 steps is really not that much when you actually walk from point A to point B. And if you have short legs, you can do it a lot easier than us with long legs. So, any questions on mini steps before we get into the mini bands? Questions, comments, concerns? Does everybody have mini bands? Perfect. We have video. I love it. So you are going to want, so for some of you, you may have a few different sizes of bands. I'm going to suggest starting with a lighter one to start because you can always increase. Blue for me is my hardest, green is medium, and yellow is my lightest. We're going to do 2 lower body movements and 3 upper body movements. And I know Millie said she, I think, is watching from the car today. So Millie, I know you can't be doing the lower body exercises when you're in the car, but you could possibly do some of these upper body exercises while you're sitting there in the car. First one we're going to do, and yes, you can see my legs fully, is if you need to hang on to a wall for balance, grab the wall. You're going to take that mini band and you're going to place it around your mid-shin calf area. So what's going to want to happen is we're going to do a lateral walk here. So if you don't have a lot of room, you can just go kind of one to the side, one back. If you have a longer stretch of room, you can kind of keep going one way for a little bit and then you can come back. So use the room you have the way you need to. But that first move we're going to start with is a lateral walk. So feet are going to start hip width apart. Our hips are going to be tucked. I'm going to take this off so you guys can see a little bit better here. Hips are going to be tucked. We have a nice athletic stance. You should already start to feel the outside of your glutes start to be a little bit engaged. I'm not folded over, but I'm not leaning back. Kind of right here. And then you're going to step with your right foot, and that left foot is going to pick up and come back to starting position while keeping in that little squatted position. Slow and controlled. Hands can go on your hips. I know people that like to move them. You can choose what you would like here. Once you get a little bit, I like to go 10 one way, 10 the other. That seems to be a nice number for me in my space usually. I like to stand up, shake out my legs, and then go back the other way. Remembering that the foot that is coming second does not drag across the ground, that we're gonna pick that foot up completely and place it back down. So as you guys are practicing that, I'm gonna come closer to the screen and kind of see. Okay, perfect. Okay, add a little bit more bend to your knees. So you want a little bit more of that squatted position, like a little half squat as you step. Good. Are you guys feeling that in your hips a little bit?
I feel it in my shins.
In your shins. Can you show me your camera, Angela?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Can you see it there?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I feel it like here and here.
Okay, so go from side to side a little bit for me. Okay, I'm gonna say the same thing. Add a little bit more of a squat, kind of like you're gonna go sit down in a high chair. Yep, stay there and now move.
Yeah, I can feel that more.
Okay, good. And that's where, when we stand up, you guys can pause if you've been doing this for a while. I don't want to completely burn your glutes out. That's where when we stand up tall, we're not using any of our strong muscles. We end up using the outside of our legs down at our like calves and our shins, and those are not super strong. We want to use our glutes and our hips for this. So next one you have is going to be a zigzag walk, and this one's always, I think about you were a kid and you have paint on your feet, and when you move, you're going to see a zigzag behind you. So we set up just like we do for a lateral, feet hip width apart, hips tucked, a little bit of squat here. I'm going to step to my right at a 45-degree angle and then bring my left foot together. Then I'm going to step to my left at a 45-degree angle and bring my foot together. 45-degree angle, together. 45-degree angle, together. Good.
I'm gonna have to back up.
Perfect. I know. Sometimes when my camera's here, I can only get like 2 or 3 when it's when I'm always on video. Good.
Can you do that again?
Absolutely. So a little bit of squat here, just like we had for those laterals. Only difference is you're going right foot, 45-degree angle forward, left foot together. Left foot, 45-degree angle forward, other side. How are those feeling?
Sorry. I try and watch myself on it and focus.
Hi. We have a little one with us today. Perfect. And remembering that the step doesn't have to be huge. It can be just a little step here. So these are going to be our zigzag walks. These are 2 really great exercises for our hips to help strengthen those hips. And for any of you guys who do strength training, These are really good to do before you do a leg workout because it's going to help warm up those glutes, warm up all of those muscles that you're not going into your workout kind of feeling stiff. You can pop that band off. Angela, how's it feeling? You got it down?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Okay, perfect. The big key is don't forget about that squat. We're not standing up. When we stand up tall, our butt's not engaged. You want a little bit of a squat here.
Okay.
No matter what exercise we're doing. So those are our 2 lower body exercises. Our 3 upper body exercises. First one is going to be a tricep press down. So I stick my hand right through here like this, and I'm gonna put it right on my chest. Other hand is going to stick through as well. And I'm gonna lock that elbow down to my side. And now I'm going to, with that bottom hand, press my arm straight, keeping my elbow nice and locked in, and slowly come up. Good. So this should be working the back of your arm. If you do not feel it in your back of your arm, let me know. If you feel it in your butt or something funky, please let me know because we're not doing it right. Good. And the biggest thing to remember is we don't want that elbow to get away from us because that puts that shoulder in a funky position. So keep everything nice and tight. Good. And then feel free to switch and go to the other side. And Angela, because your band is kind of longer, what you can do is kind of like clench
tie it a little more, but.
Or you can just clench up on it, like wrap your hand fully around it and then stick your bottom hand through.
Okay.
Because then you can shorten up your, yeah.
I can feel that more.
Perfect. Yep. So sometimes when your band's longer, you just kind of have to clench up on it.
Okay.
So we go to the other side, hand goes through, hand on the chest, other hand goes down, elbows locked in, straight press, and come back up. The other thing to remember is when that elbow is tight to us, we don't want to round that body forward with this. We want to keep everything nice and upright and that control. Perfect. Those look great, you guys. Any pain, any funkiness, or are we feeling good?
Feels good.
Awesome. I'm all about the thumbs up method. So next ones, I will say that if you have multiple bands, always start with that lower like I mentioned, but your legs are probably going to be able to increase before your upper body movements just because our legs carry us around all day. They're a little bit stronger. So if you're going to increase bands, I would suggest on your lower body before your upper body. Next one we have is a single arm lat pull down. So you're going to take your band. I like to grab onto it. So stick my hands through and grab onto it. My arms are then going to come straight up above me, shoulders back and down. Left arm stays locked in, and my right arm, I'm going to drive that elbow to the side of my body. Yes, perfect. So this is just like if you were to go to the gym and sit down at the lat pull down machine. That is that machine that has that big bar that I feel like I always hit my head on because it's just obnoxiously large. So what we're doing here is we're just doing a single arm. So we're isolating just that one side. And then we'll switch and we'll lock that right arm up. Feel free to drop those arms in between if you need to. And then we lock that right arm up. Left arm starts up as well. And we drive that left elbow down to our side. And when we drive it down to our side, we want to keep it nice and equal. A lot of times I see our elbows shoot back behind us or we pull it in front. We want it to sit flush with the body, just as if it were to lay next to us. Good. Do we feel that in our like through here and in our back?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even in our shoulders a little bit.
A little bit, yep.
Good. Thumbs up, sideways, thumbs down. Perfect. So the last, not the last one, I am going to show you a combo with that single lat pull down. You can, if you want, put your thumbs through here and you can pull both of them down at the same time. This is going to be much more intense because this band is so small. So if you would like to try the double, we want that band to come and sit right on that collarbone when that band comes down, keeping it as close to your body as possible. Good. Perfect. So you're gonna feel it in the same spot. You may even feel it between your shoulder blades a little bit more intense when you use both. That's when one of these longer bands can also come in handy, because you can do this move and you have a little bit more room to kind of move through it. So our last move here. So we've done lateral walks, zigzag walks, tricep press downs, single arm lat pull downs. Our last one is going to be a bent over row. So we'll place our hands inside. I like to set it so it's over my thumb, so it's not on my wrist. I will sometimes even, the band will cooperate, kind of set it right in here. So sometimes it goes over the thumb, sometimes my thumb goes on top. Naturally, when you put your hands down by your side, the band's gonna wanna stay here. You are going to press that band out, bring your hands up to 90. So you're kind of holding a platter, and you're going to go out and then drive those elbows back. All while keeping tension on that band the whole time. Good. You're gonna feel this through the shoulders. You're gonna feel this through the back. And you're also gonna feel those hands start to sink together, because we're gonna get fatigued. Good. Turn to the side, both of you, for me. I just wanna make sure this angle looks good. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Good. And relax. So we've done our 5 exercises. We've done our lateral walks, our lateral walks, our zigzag walks, our tricep press downs, our single arm lat pull down, and our rows. So my suggestion for all of you is to start with that lightest band. You're gonna hear me say it again. And then you're also going to start with about 8 to 10 reps. And when I say reps, that's how many times you're gonna do it. And maybe you're gonna start just doing it one time through. Maybe you're gonna do it 2 times through. Maybe you're gonna do it 3 times. Ideally, you'd like to do 10 reps 3 times through is the goal. But if you're feeling after the first round or the second round that you don't even have enough gas in those muscles to do the 3rd round, stop where you're at and work up to that. So we're gonna do a quick, just little circuit all the way through. We're just gonna go through one more time, and I'm gonna go for time. So this is gonna kind of be like a little mini workout circuit. So that band's gonna start down around your shins. I'm gonna let you get all set up. And we're gonna start with those lateral walks. We're gonna go 30 seconds for each move. I will give us some time to transition, so that 1, we can think about it, and 2, we can make sure that our feet placement and our body's in the correct position. Let me get my timer. So 30 seconds, starting with those lateral walks. Feet hip width apart, slight squat, hips tucked, and 3, 2, 1, begin. And when we go for time, that does not mean we rush and do as many reps as possible. All that means is we don't have to count the reps. If you have not started going back to the way you started, I suggest going back that way just to keep us equal. We have about 10 more seconds here. And you can always just go 1 to the right, 1 to the left, if your space is smaller. And 3, 2, 1. Stand on up, shake out those legs. We have 15 seconds, and we're gonna go into those zigzag walks. So hips tucked, slight squat, and 3, 2, 1, begin. So 45-degree angle forward, together. 45-degree angle forward, together. Good. And remember, we want to imagine we're leaving a zigzag behind us on the floor. Keeping our core nice and tight. Every move we do, reverse yourself or turn around and go back. The reversing throws in a little bit of a balance challenge sometimes. Good. 2, 1. Bring those feet together, shake it out. Take that band off. We're gonna go into those tricep press downs. So Angela, make sure you shrink up on that band to make sure you have some tension. One hand's on your chest, other one's on your elbow, and begin. We're gonna do 30 seconds each arm here, just to keep it easy. Because the whole remembering to switch 15 seconds through is always, that always gets forgotten, I'm gonna be honest. Good. And remember, we're about control. I don't care how many reps you get in. Try to keep a nice neutral gaze straight ahead. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Transition. So other hand goes on top now. Bring that other elbow down nice and close to the body. We have 3, 2, 1. Begin. Press that straight down. Keep it nice and close. Try to relax those shoulders too. Good. And if you feel like you want to grab onto that band instead of just putting a flat hand through, you are welcome to. Good. These look great. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. So for this next one in our transition, you can either do single arm or you can do double. I'm going to let you choose what you want to do. Remember, the double is going to be a little bit more challenging. We're going to do 30 seconds each side for those of you who want to go singles. In 3, 2, 1, begin. So lock one of those arms in, drive that elbow down, align it with that body, making sure our feet are hip width apart. We have a nice stable base. Good. We should be feeling that down the side of our rib cage maybe, because maybe yours is a little bit more in the back, maybe yours is in the front. 2, 1. Good. Shake out those arms, let them relax here. Good. We have the other side. So other hand goes up in 3, 2, 1. Drive that opposite elbow now down in to the side of your body. Good. And I move a lot when I do these. So your feet are supposed to be hip width apart, nice stable base. I rock a lot because it's how I am when I'm on camera. Good. We're almost there. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those arms down, shake it out. We have our final time here with your rows. So hands go on the inside. Start with it loose now until I tell you to go. 90 degrees at your elbows. And let's press that band out, reach, and pull those elbows back. This is one, I find this is the most challenging one for me, partly because I don't think I do it as often as the other ones. But remembering to squeeze those shoulder blades together as those elbows drive back. And if you need to pause for a second and let that band get loose and reset, I'd rather have that than the band just all of a sudden being loose and us not knowing it. Good. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Put that band down, shake it out. If you have water and you want water, feel free to grab a sip. So we talked about many steps that we can take in our health and wellness. And I asked you guys if you had a goal. So I want you to think about what is a commitment that you can make here as we wrap up to yourself that's just really small. So maybe it is doing one of these mini band exercises every single day. Maybe it's going a little bit further down the block when you go for a walk. Maybe it's an extra few ounces of water. Maybe it's a few extra steps. Think of something small that you are going to commit to of doing, whether it's every day or every other day. And I want you to share it, as well as sharing what your takeaway and insight from today's training was. And who would like to go first? And anyone can just unmute and speak too. I don't need to call on you.
I can go.
Okay.
I would like to at least try and do these every day. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that the band would be able to do all those different things, because I've only ever used this just on my knee after surgery. So, but there's a lot you can do with this that you can actually feel.
Absolutely. I love it. And you're right. These bands, we always think they're just meant for that PT reason that we got them. This is just 5 of like 50 exercises that I can show you, because sometimes it's overwhelming. So you're committing to doing all of these every single day. Is that what you said?
I would say at least 5 days a week. I know the weekend's tougher with the kids.
Perfect. And what time of day are you going to make sure you get that done so that it doesn't get lost in your mind? And are you going to put it on your calendar?
In the morning, or I will lose it.
Yep. Awesome. Any insights or takeaways from today that you want to share? Things that kind of stuck with you, or just anything else that you wanted to share?
I mean, I think that it seems like something little that is effective. You know, you don't really, I wouldn't have thought it when we started, but I think that those little steps can turn into bigger things.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I love seeing your face, and I'm happy you are feeling better, because I know you were feeling a little under the weather earlier this week.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you are feeling better.
Yes, thanks for including me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay. Insights, takeaways, and commitments.
I would like to commit to going on like a 15-minute walk every day. I let the weather stop me. I let any little thing keep me from going outside and getting activity outside. And I really enjoyed learning the upper body exercises with the bands, because I never really use them for upper body. And I really enjoyed a lot of those, because like the tricep, like the pull downs, I have a hard time working that into my gym routine. And I think that's something that will really help me if I could just do it at home. And I will definitely be doing those also. So I really appreciate it.
Awesome. So your walking goal, when are you going to schedule it in? Because we all know if we don't schedule it, if we just don't do it.
Yeah. In the mornings, I'll probably try to get up while the kids are still asleep. I have an older kid and she has a phone. So hopefully, because if they come with me, it's pointless. Like, it's just, we're looking at the wildflowers and we're collecting rocks, and you still get steps in and it's fun, and I might do that later on in the afternoon with them, but for me to actually get an actual like benefits from a walk, I feel like it's a lot easier if I just do it in the mornings, like before they start their day.
Perfect. I love it. And I love that you said that you can do the tricep work right there at your house. You don't even have to worry about incorporating it into your gym routine, especially if you already have one. So remember, these bands, don't hide them away now that this training is over. Don't go put them back in the bag and like put them under the couch where we'll never find them again. Keep them out where you can see them and you have a reminder of them, because often they get hidden away. We don't use them. We're like, oh yeah, those things. We did say we were
out of the drawer this morning, so
perfect. So because each of you have made a commitment, when you do it tomorrow, because tomorrow is still a weekday and tomorrow still has a morning, once you have done each of those, I want you to either send me a message of your walk or of your mini band. Either send me a message or comment in this video that you've done that commitment for day one. And then we'll just kind of let that train roll on. But that is your one piece of homework to make sure that commitment happens. So I don't hear from you. I am going to reach out and I'm going to ask because that's just who I am. So any of you who are on Facebook or watching the replay, same goes for you. If you drop your commitment, share that you've done your commitment on the first day, either in a message to me or here in the video. And let's make these really small steps become something that stick with us and aren't just something that we do one day and they're gone the next. If this is something you really want to do, really, really small things day after day, consistent as you can be, with life popping up and getting in the way, because it's always going to. Any questions, comments, any last words before we jump off today?
Nope, I'm all set. Thank you so much for including me, though. I
You are
appreciate it.
so welcome. I'm so happy you guys are both able to jump on today and it worked for schedules. And I'm just very happy to see both of you here. So thank you so much. I will see you guys next week. I believe we are talking about food. So if you have any interest in learning about food of any sorts, next week's training is going to be on food. So hopefully I will see you guys there and I will hear from you tomorrow with your commitments.
All right,
Talk
thank
to you
you.
guys later. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.